In this video, we will start by discussing the CRUD operations which we can perform on MongoDB. CRUD operation, what does this mean? These are four basic operations that you can perform on a database. So the first is to create or insert a new document. And the second is to read an existing document from the database or the collection. Update means to update a document which is existing and updating its one or more attributes or one or more fields. Finally, the delete operation, as the name applies, deleting a document from a collection. In this video, we will focus on the creating part of the CRUD operations. So we'll go step by step and see how we can create a database, how we can create a collection, and then we create or we insert a document in this collection. So for the database, there is no statement available to create a database. As I mentioned earlier, that MongoDB does not create a database unless there is a document inside it. So what you need to do is you need to select a non-existing database, and once you put some data in it, then it will be created automatically. For example, we already saw that the command use advanced web tech in the MongoDB shell, what it does is that it selects a database. For example, if we go to our console, our command line interface, Mongo shell, we can also select a database which does not exist. For example, so we have DBs, so show DBs. So we have these database. So let's say we use a kind of database called MyDB, and then switch to MyDB. Even though the database is not there, the control or the command has been shifted to MyDB. If I say show collections, it says that it shows nothing because there is no collection there. Even the database is not there. So what it will do is, as soon after I create a document within this using this command line interface, then it will create the database. Similarly, what we need to do is, in our code, we need to not create any database. For example, all we need to do is or connect to a database which is non-existing using this command. So in order to perform this operation, what we are going to do, we are going to start our endpoint. Let's call it app.get, and then in this endpoint we call it insert. So because we are going to insert or we are going to add some data in it, and then let's copy paste the code from here to start our server. So like this, comma is missing, and then instead of returning this thing, what we are going to do is we are going to have something like this. Now what we need to do is we need to create an object, or we need to create this non-existing database. So in order to do that, first we need to get access to this local database variable that is available, which we saved. So I think we have we can call it const client is equal to this list of local variables is available in our request dot app dot locals dot db .db. Now with this we have access to our database connection which we opened before. Now once we have access to this database, now what we need to do is we create a database. db is equal to client dot database, and then it should be advanced web tech, or I think we already have a name, so we connect to this database. We don't need to write it. So now what we are connected to this database which is named advanced web tech. So now with this we have connected to our database. The next step is to create a collection. There are two ways to create a collection. Okay, the first way is to add a collection to a non-existing one. So how we can do that? For example, let's say we want to add a user name Constance in our users database. So all we need to do is in our shell, we write the command db.users.insert, and then we pass a JSON object. The JSON object will have the key and values. The key is in this case name and its value is Constance, and the same things can be done inside the MongoDB this Node Express command code also. For example, we have a database. We already did that. We open the database using the using this command, and then what we are going to do is db.collections users, and then insert one. In that we are going to insert a document, and then using the same information name Constance. What it will do is it will create a collection, because we tried to create a new document in a non-existing collection. There is another approach. For example, if you need to specifically create an empty collection, there is a method available both in shell and express, which is create collection. What this will do is it will create an empty collection called users, and then you can perform later on insert documents in them. So this is how you can create a collection, but we are going to step by step create a collection using the first approach when we are going to insert a new document. And in how to insert a document, there are three different methods available. The first method is a simple insert method. So what this will do is, based on the number of information or the number of documents you provide to this method, it will insert them in the collection. So it can be one document or it can be more than one document. So for example, if we have this command, for example, db_users.insert first name Shoaib and last name Yorda. So what it will do is it will create a user with the or create a document in the users collection with the with two fields, first name Shoaib and the second field last name with the value Yorda. Similarly, we can pass multiple documents to this method. For example, if we try to do that in the node, what we can do is collection.insert, and then we pass in an array. You will see that right here, this is just an JSON object directly starting with curly bracket. But here, if you want to add more than one document, what you need to do is you need to start with a square bracket, which indicates that it's an array, and within this array you have multiple documents separated by comma. We will try to do that just now. For example, we can do that directly in the shell. For example, first let's use our advanced web tech. So now we have switched to advanced web tech. How we can do that? If we look at the code, it's db.the user or the collection name and then insert. So let's say we have collection. First, let's see how many is there any information in the users collection. So there is a method find. We will go into the details of the find later on, but just to see if there is any document available in this user collection, we will see. Okay, so since reference user is not defined, so show users. Okay, we have to say db.users.find. So since there is no data available in it, so there is no document in it, then it does not show anything. Now what we are going to do is we are going to show the we are going to add a document. So let's just copy this code and then we execute it here. So db.user.insert and then first name this and last name this, and when we execute it, it shows us that what are the results. So the right results, number of inserted one, so one item has been inserted. So this is how it inserts. Here we did not specify any ID. So what MongoDB does, if you don't specify any value for the ID _ID, then it automatically generates one for every document that it's creating. That's what happened here also. So for example, if we write them now, if we try to read or find, so for example we have command db users.find, you will see that there is now one document available and it has id _id, which is of type object id with this unique value. By default, MongoDB has object IDs which are called object ID, and it has some random value generated in it based on some criteria, and then it is automatically generated because we did not specify it. And then the things which we specified is that the attribute first name contain the value Shoaib and the last name containing the value Jordan. So as you can see, ID was automatically generated. And once you execute this command, so you get a result, and the result what we saw already, that it says that write result n inserted, which means the number of item inserted in the document is 1. So this result is shown when you are trying to insert only one document. But let's say if you are trying to insert multiple document, let's say if you try to execute this command, let's get this code, let's copy only this information here, and then what we are going to do is we execute this in our shell. So we have here insert, and then insert, we remove this, and then we copy information here. So now what we are going to do is we are going to insert two documents instantly in a single command, and one document will have name Kelly and the other document will have attribute name Amr. And if you try to execute it, you see there is a kind of different result now, which shows bulk write result, and it has a kind of different additional information available to us, which says if there is an error in one of the document when writing, then the errors will appear here. If there are any kind of concerns, number of items inserted, number of upserted, we will come to this what upsert mean when we are going to discuss update. Number of matches, so modified, removed, and upserted. So these are different information which is available to you. So since two documents were added, it says that number of inserted 2. And now if we try to see the results, so we see that there are two documents now available in this collection. And as you can see now, one of the document contains the attribute first name, last name, but the other two documents contain that field names. So this is what schema less means, that you can insert any kind of data in this collection. It does not have to follow a specific schema. But of course, when you are trying to access this information or access data from this collection, you should know or that okay, what you are trying to access. Either are you trying to access name or are you trying to access first name as last name. So depending upon your schema or depending upon the attribute what you are trying to access, only that data will be available to you. Okay, so this is the first method of insert, and MongoDB provides two separate methods. So if you want to add only one document, then there is a method called insert one. What this will do is it will insert only one document. So if you want, or if you know that you are inserting only one item, that it's preferable to use this insert one method. But if you want to insert more than one method, then more than one document, then there is a method which is insert many. And once you have executed this insert many command, then you will get a kind of acknowledgement that okay, you have successfully entered the data, or the command was successful, and these are the IDs of the documents which has been inserted.